Greetings, my fellow bushy blobs of some atomic building blocks. Name's Hans, father of the plants, porter of Teal bricks, and as always, Zark for Legos. Alright. In this video, I'm unveiling my all-new coach bus. Welcome to the fourth video of my bus series. So if you haven't seen my previous 3 buses, my school bus, my city bus, and my double-decker bus, I will leave a link for the playlist at the end of this video. And this bus is the grand finale. This bus be bussin'. Of all the buses, this bus might just be my new favorite bus. I've been meaning to make this bus for a really long time now, and a couple months ago I finally got around to doing it. Coach buses are pretty quintessential when it comes to buses, and a few months ago I ran across this one YouTuber who all he talks about is coach buses, because he's a bus driver that drives these types of buses, and he goes to these shows and he kind of reviews like the newest and latest greatest of buses. So I think that might have been what kind of kickstarted me to start working on this bus. But yeah, here it is. And looking back at LEGO's portfolio of LEGO City sets that have buses, there is one particular set that has a coach style bus, which is 8404 Public Transport Station, all the way back in 2010. But it's got a bus, it's got a tram, it's got some few other vehicles. Now I don't actually own that set, but that bus it's not bad. It's a pretty good looking little bus. Did take a quick look at it before I started building this bus. The other awesome thing is that by building this bus, it totally kicked off a bunch of ideas that spread out to all my other buses. So if you go watch my other 3 bus videos, you'll see that I've completely upgraded them. So one of the things was this windshield right here. The idea for this windshield originally came because of this bus, and then I ended up adding it to these. Believe it or not, this is actually already its second overhaul design. This bus actually used to be completely lime green. Here you can see a picture of it right here, of what it looked like just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, converting it to the gray color actually only happened even after I'd already done the recording for my school bus, which is the bus I just released last week. Now, one reason why I decided to get rid of the lime green was because the new express train already had a bunch of lime green on it. And after a while, I started thinking about this bus, and just being it all solid lime green was kind of starting to bug me. And that's what inspired me to change it. Now, one of the driving factors to the color of this bus comes from 2 main components. One is the doors down here at the very bottom, and then 2, the fender pieces. And the first main decision was I knew I wanted to have this style of doors down here at the very bottom. I didn't want to do the kitchen cabinet approach like what you see on the coach bus in the public transport station set. And these are kind of the basic colors. I knew I wasn't going to do a pink bus, and red and blue are just not my style. And besides, I've already got police and fire vehicles that are already in that color. So then it was pretty much down to the white and the lime green. And then the other factor too is the color of these fender pieces. So I had a white one, and then I know that LEGO just recently came out with a vehicle of this fender piece in the lime green. The idea was I would build the bus at first with this white one, and then I would later convert it to the lime green so that the fenders would match. But like I said, the lime green was just bugging me too much. I really didn't want a white bus, and having a white bus just did not appeal to me at all. About a week and a half ago, I took a look at this, so I had to come back to these doors and these fenders. And I just recently got these fenders in the light gray. This is an all-new recolor for the LEGO pieces that just came out this year. But when it came to the doors, I decided to make a sacrifice and just use these half doors right there. And hopefully later on, LEGO will eventually come out with the full door in light gray. And I'm absolutely glad that I decided to use the light gray, because for me it just brings a lot of balance to the bright, vibrant colors on the side of the bus. Typically, the medium stone gray and the dark stone gray are pretty boring colors, they're pretty much colorless. But for some reason with these bright, vibrant colors, it's making this gray color pop out as like this smooth, buttery, creamy look and feel to it. And it just looks amazing on this bus. And the other thing I did just in the last week and a half, not only did I change the entire color of the inside and the outside, but I also had lengthened the bus by an additional 2 studs and came up with a slightly different front end. Speaking of the front end, let's talk about the front end. Yeah. So this is where I came up with the idea of using the Speed Champion Supercar windshield for the front of this bus. And actually, it came from this. I used it up here at first, and then as I was exploring this idea, then that's when I came up with the idea to use it as a windshield piece, and then that's what ended up inspiring me to add it to these buses as well. And the sunroof thing has been a futuristic feature that I've been trying to add. A lot of the futuristic electric cars coming out nowadays are having full glass sunroofs. And then the other thing too was that in one of the coach bus videos of that one YouTuber that I watched, one of the buses that he went on a tour, I think it was like a Mercedes bus, and it was like a totally premium coach bus, but it had a glass sunroof across the top. And believe it or not, this sunroof right here, as well as that coach bus video, inspired me to add the sunroof, do the all glass roof for my express train. The first version of this bus, I actually created it, I think it was right after I did the cargo train, but just before I started creating my express train. Now you may recognize these vertical headlights and as well as the quarter circle right there, and that design feature actually comes from my Paradisa City Motors Electruck T260, which is a feature that I created right there. This was my first ever example of trying vertical headlights and then also giving it a slight horizontal element to it right there by using that quarter circle tile. So I think it looks amazing on the bus as well. So I got the vertical headlights there, and then of course I added a couple of lights just on the inside right there too. I'm building a Lego City of the future, and this bus is futuristic from the year 2060. So this bus is fully electric, and it's got autonomous driving. It can drive all by itself, doesn't even need a driver. And that's what that is, the little autonomous driving sensor right there. So on the second major overhaul of this bus design, I did decide to leave one thick stripe of the bright yellowish green, and then I've also got the dark azure, I've got a teal stripe right there, and then right above that is my futuristic Tron style lights that run the entire length of the windows. And the other thing I like too is that the dark azure and the lime green kind of look like it wraps around this way as well. So the lights actually make it look like it's part of the lime green coming around, and of course the dark azure comes around and wraps and then goes back around the other side. So I absolutely love the Tron movie. I love the architectural and the design elements of how they add these patterns and lines of light that enhance the shapes of all the things. How cool is that? Absolutely love it. Even on the other side. I've been meaning to do this on a lot of things, including buildings, more and more often for part of my futuristic design and look. And so this bus is pretty much the first major example of me trying this out. I mean, I've done it on a much smaller scale on a few other things, but yeah. So the one thing that makes coach buses pretty tall is the fact that they have major storage compartments underneath the floor of the bus. And the floor of the bus usually starts right above the wheels. So the one criteria that I had before I started making this bus is that I wanted the cargo area to be completely pass-through all the way inside like that. So if I open up all of these doors, you can see straight through. Hey, that's my sick bag. Yeah. So like I said before, those little kitchen cabinets, that just wasn't gonna cut it for me. These buses haul a lot of stuff, so if this bus was like for soccer or football team, they gotta store all their play equipment down on the bottom side of this bus. Or if this bus was for a music band, again, all their musical instruments would get stored down there. This whole section down here is completely hollow and can fit a ton of storage. The bottom floor is tiled, so there's 5 plates worth of height in there. Now I haven't actually tried to fit a bunch of stuff in there, but you get the idea, you know? Heck, let's try this. An entire brick separator. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, can't wait for LEGO to eventually come up with the 2 brick tall door in the light gray. This also happens to be my longest bus. So it's even longer than the double-decker bus by just a wee bit. I think it's like 2 or 3 bricks longer than the double-decker bus, but it's even longer than the city bus. Yeah. But when you compare it to my express train, which is 8 studs wide, it's still smaller than that, which is what it should be. So the back end is pretty simple. We've got tail lights running all the way across, and it's also got these aerodynamic efficiency ridges right there, as well as right up there at the top. That's the other side of the bus. And we've got a solar panel on the very top. We've got our futuristic sunroof. Off comes the roof. And voila. Yeah. So if you recall, on the double-decker bus, there was a seat that had this little armrest right there. Well, that's where that idea came from, was from this bus. Yeah. So this is my little armrest. Now I know I've seen some people to go all out and build these fully reclining seats with headrests and all that stuff. I don't like doing that, it just takes up too much room, and I'd rather have way more seats than having these chairs that are reclining. And then I'm using the nougat color to represent kind of like this luxury hardwood floor. Of course, I've added a bathroom in the very back. And in order to get the sink to work out nicely, I had to embed the little faucet right there in the back. So I really like how that came out. Now for the bathroom door, LEGO doesn't make one of these in the 5 tall. This is something that I think has been pretty important, is I think LEGO should make maybe this style of door, but in 3 wide, a 1x3x5. And this would be great for like doors inside of like campers and airplanes and trains, little bathroom doors, little closet doors, that would be great. Like the door on the side of a RV doesn't need to be a full-size door like this is. And maybe even on these bus doors, it would be a lot better if these doors were only 3 studs wide. To me, this is a full-size house door. I mean, I doubt LEGO will ever do anything like that. It sure would come in handy. I think there's a lot of applications that it would work for, especially on airplanes. Yeah, the cockpit door, and then also bathrooms inside the airplane at the very back of the plane. There's no way you're gonna fit this size door in there. And this part right up here is still green for no reason. I just didn't feel like getting around and changing it, and it looks kind of cool. But yeah, there's no reason for it. One other thing I wanted to point out was that just recently, I officially decided to make a protocol of mine for stair steps, which is all my stair steps are going to be no more than 1 brick tall sideways. I'm no longer gonna do stair steps that are a full brick in height. When I did a bunch of upgrades to this a week and a half ago, that was one thing I did, was to add all these steps in there. So these bricks are laying sideways for the stair steps. And that, everybody, is my brand new coach bus. Yeah, I'm loving it. I love the vibrant coloring. I love it, the fact that it's paired with the gray. I love the sleek futuristic windshield. I love the sunroof. And the front end of this bus, just wicked cool. It is freaking awesome. And all the storage space underneath the bus. And the other crazy thing is that all these buses are 7 studs wide, and I can't even tell that these are 7 studs wide anymore. Like when I just glance at these buses, they just look like normal buses. They don't even look like they've been enhanced or scaled up or anything. If I do another bus in the future, I'm thinking probably in about a year, I'll build another one of these coach buses. I'll make several of them for music bands, because one of the things in Paradisa City is I'm planning on having a Coachella style Paradisa City music festival pretty much right on the beach. These buses will be for the bands and the musicians that are performing at the music festival. So instead of having a bunch of seats, these buses will be decked out with custom interiors. And speaking of buses, I actually just created a couple of new buses, but they're not buses. These are the VW style buses. I created 2 of them, one's futuristic and one's classic. If you notice, I've been pumping out videos a lot faster lately. That's because I'm trying to rush towards the boutique hotel. I know a ton of you guys are interested in my architectural building builds and my city, and I'm way overdue for that. So I've been pumping out these videos, trying to get these done as quickly as possible so that I can start doing the videos for the boutique hotel. So I've got one more video before I do the boutique hotel. Next week is my remodel of the mobile crane, and then we're gonna get about 5 or 6 videos for the boutique hotel. And that is gonna be amazing. I hope you guys really like my new coach bus. If you like it as much as I do, give this video a like. The YouTube algorithm is really lame, so when you do likes, when you do comments, when you share this video, it really helps out the channel. Alright, and for those of you who are new to this channel, don't forget to watch the bus playlist so you can see my other 3 buses. Alright, and on that note, I will check you guys later.